Hey everybody, my name is Victoria Johnson, and this is my data analysis for CEA number 3. Okay, so the mission of Phoenix City Schools is pursuing excellence on behalf of every student in every school. The goal of my presentation today is to interpret multiple points for future decision making strategies at PCIS. So, we're going to focus on 3 points of data today: the student achievement data through two different assessments, and that'll be through ACAP and through iReady. The climate and culture data, which was filled out by stakeholders and parents, and also the staff needs assessment. So, those are the 3 points we're going to be focusing on to drive our decision making. Okay, so for the climate and the culture, so this was pulled from 246 parents. So, some of the strengths were a welcoming environment. Basically, so when they walk into the school, they're greeted with a smile, a warm welcome. They don't feel cold when they walk into the building. They also appreciated the fact that we had over 18 parental opportunities last year. This was both through the day and after school. So, through the work hours, we had a couple of opportunities at 8 in the morning. The Donuts with Dads was at 8 in the morning. We had lunch with parents midday, and we also had some after school engagement activities like Teach the Parent Night or STEM Night or Math Night and things of that nature. Um, they also appreciated the extracurricular opportunities, including, of course, our sports. We had quite a few fine arts opportunities. We had a book club, we have art club, drama club, and choir, and also some academic opportunities. For example, we had after school tutoring. Some of the weaknesses were the attentiveness to safety. So, at my school, which is PCIS, it's quite a large middle school, and we have an open campus layout. It's probably right at about 6 buildings, give or take. Um, and it's not really as secure as what some people would like. So sometimes there's a fear of the openness of campus, the potential of having intruders, and also we did not have a lot of staff appreciation opportunities on campus. Like, we have teacher appreciation, and we do some things in December for the staff around Christmas time. But other than that, we don't have quite too many opportunities. So, some of the data driven decisions based off of the climate and culture survey would be to increase the walkthroughs by the school resource officer. At PCIS, we have one resource officer that's on campus from 7:10 to 3:10. We could increase his walkthroughs to be twice every hour, just every 30 minutes walk through. And because we have so many buildings, he can pick two different buildings per hour, some things of that nature. Also, keyless entry door access. So currently our school's open and shut like on a timer, but it's through this app called Verkada. It's this new keyless entry app. We could set it to where the doors are locked at all times, and they would only open for when the bell rings to transition to the next class. And so, therefore, any visitors would need a key to get in any of the buildings once that tardy bell rings. I think that would make it a little bit more safer for both staff and students. And also, increase the staff activities to be monthly, whether we're celebrating birthdays in that particular month or doing staff activities like going to a baseball game together or out to eat on a Wednesday or just fellowshipping and doing vision boards, but just some monthly staff activities where we can get together and just enjoy each other outside of the classroom. Okay, so next we have our ELA instruction data. So, out of 1,046 scholars, 463 of them are on or above grade level on the ACAB. So, this is really good information, but this does indicate, however, that 54% of the school is below grade level for ELA. Now, this is compared to all sixth and seventh graders in the state of Alabama who do take the ACAP assessment. Um, Also, we have two subgroups that we get scored on for our state report card, and that'll be our SPED population and our English learners, or the EL population. So, our special education subgroup showed 42% proficiency on the ACAP alternate assessment, and the EL subgroup showed only 1% proficiency. So that is a little scary as far as what that looks like for our data. Our data driven decision, for me, depending on how many teachers we could get to actually um, do tutoring, it would be ideal to add the bottom 10% to after school tutoring. But a decision that we can do in school is to add the bottom 10% to our MTSS plan. And once you get added to MTSS at our school, we have four interventionists, two reading and two math, that will add the bottom 10% to schedule, and then the kids will get extra practice with their interventionists to help fill the missing gaps. Also, for teachers, I would say implementing 20-minute small group sessions twice a week. Tuesday and Thursday would be ideal, but Thursdays are game days for football, so possibly Monday and Wednesdays. And pull some of the lower scoring scholars to see if we could close any remaining gaps. Um, Also, a suggestion for parents that are asking for work at home, I would suggest maybe some extra practice packets, not for a grade, but for students to work on at home to help with continuing to enrich their minds. Here I've pulled another data point. This is our already ELA diagnostic for the school year. So to start this school year off, as you can see, so the stripe green is two or more grade levels below, I mean above, I apologize. The solid green is on grade level. The yellow is below grade level, one grade level. The red is two grade levels below, and then the stripe red is two or more grade levels below. So for sixth grade, we do have 23% of our scholars on grade level currently, on or above. And then for seventh grade, we have 22% of our scholars on or above grade level. Not great, but it does give us a data point to start with, which is ideal, especially when so many people have connected already to ACAP. So this will help us guide our instructions so we can have an idea of what our school is going to score proficiently on the ACAP for this 2025-2026. So now we move on to math instruction. So out of our 1,014 scholars, 214 of them are on or above grade level, and this indicates that 79% of the school is below grade level for math. Wow, that's pretty large. So when we look at our two subgroups, our SPED population was only 5% proficient, and our EL subgroup was only 1% proficient. So math is more of a focus, and I did give them the same data driven decision with adding the bottom 10 to MTSS and things of that nature. But I would just like to say, with 79% of the school being below grade level and not proficient in math, I think that the focus should be geared towards math. So even with the 20-minute small groups on Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe every day have small group, and maybe like a 3-to-1 or 3-to-2 ratio with math to ELA small groups, because we definitely have to focus on math. I provided our already math diagnostic here. As you can see, not great on the numbers. Grade sixth grade, only 20% of the students are on or above grade level, and in seventh grade, 18% of the scholars are on or above grade level. So that's definitely a cry for help. I did pull a data point from Formative. It's our assessment tool that we are using this year. There is a trend in missing gaps. I feel like the scholars in middle school this year are struggling to connect, so their application skills aren't there. They can answer a question if it's just raw numbers, but when you put it into an application or a word problem, that's where they're missing a lot of points. I pulled this average from a science test. and the average was a 68. In Alabama, that's not failing. We can have D's in Alabama, but that's not great. We're aiming for 75 and above. So, our data driven decision here, I would say ordering gamification sites, Book It, excuse me, Kahoot, Kit, things of that nature, Legends of Learning. And we have quite a few CISF funds that we're using this year. And I think ordering those gamification sites will help with testing reviews. Also, sending teachers to professional development sessions for creating engaging lessons. Sometimes the students are scoring low on these assessments because they weren't engaged in the lesson in class, so they missed quite a bit of instruction. Overall, my recommendations are as follows. We need to improve the proficiency scores in math and ELA on both the ACAP and the iReady. That's important. Hopefully, throughout the school year, we'll see some trends in iReady where they're showing an increase in growth so we can gauge how we're going to do on the ACAP. Also, we have to expand inclusivity and representation to increase engagement in lessons. Our lessons need to represent everything. If the kids are into talkies and they're into playing video games and Roblox, we can have stories with these elements involved to help with engaging, keeping the lesson engaged so they can want to learn. The continuous use of feedback from needs surveys to improve climate and culture. So always enjoy hearing back from the parents. So continuing to poll them, ask them how we're doing, and that helps with making sure that we're maintaining our level of engagement with the parents. We're maintaining, making sure the parents are feeling like their kids are safe, and also continual parental engagement opportunities. Hopefully, this year we'll hit 20. Last year we hit over 18, so this year we're aiming for over 20 to maintain that welcoming and open environment on campus. Once again, my name is Victoria, and if you have any questions, you can email me within 24 to 48 hours. I will typically be able to respond. Have a great day.